I've been working in the digital marketing space for over a decade. I've personally managed over £25 million in advertising spend and have profitably grown multiple direct-to-consumer e-commerce brands through the power of digital advertising. I own an agency where we deliver profitable growth every day for our clients and a community where smaller sized direct-to-consumer e-com brands come to learn. We've got testimonials like this, and this, as well as multiple case studies on our website, www.bluedropstudio.com. In this video, I'm going to share the multi-channel strategy across paid advertising and email marketing that we've implemented for our clients that has led to profitable growth time and time again for free. So if you're anywhere between 0 and 50K in monthly sales, this video is for you. Firstly, I want to talk about the customer journey. It's important to understand this one off the bat. Now, there are so many ways to conceptualize or express a customer journey, and I'm going to go over a version that allows me to explain the reason why getting set up on multiple channels is a good thing to begin with. So firstly, we have people unaware of your brand and that you exist. Secondly, we have people who are aware that your brand exists. Then we have people who have expressed an intent to purchase. Then we have customers who have actually purchased. And then we have customers who have purchased multiple times. We could split this into two sections, so the first section being pre-purchase and the second section being post-purchase. Again, this is a very basic customer journey, and there are so many ways to look at this, but expressing the customer journey like this allows us to understand that there are different levels of purchase intent depending on the relationship somebody has with your brand. At the one end, we have people who are completely unaware that your brand exists and your products exist. And on the other end, we have customers who love your products as they've purchased multiple times. So what does this have to do with multi-channel advertising and email marketing? Well, the whole point of advertising and email marketing is to get your products and message in front of potential customers and existing customers on the right channels at the right time. And the way that we have been able to consistently drive profitable growth for our clients month on month and year on year is by having a core foundation and strategy that relies on meta advertising, Google advertising, and email marketing. Through these channels, we are able to make use of each platform's unique ability to get in front of customers. So we are present across this whole customer journey using channels that our target audiences are on. And to take your brand anywhere from 0 to 50K plus per month in sales, I strongly suggest trying out this strategy as it has worked for us time and time again. So, how do these channels work together? We primarily rely on Meta to drive the vast majority of our paid traffic. We ensure that the right campaign objectives and events are used so that we drive the highest quality traffic possible to our website. So that means relying on sales campaigns and purchase events most of the time. Since we're relying on Meta to drive the vast majority of our paid traffic, we're going to be spending the most money on Meta and also spending the most time on Meta once everything is up and running. We tend to group our adverts on Meta by product. So, for example, you might have 5 different products, 5 different creative angles to show off each product. So that means we would structure our campaigns in a way that either relies on Advantage Plus shopping campaigns if you're still spending sort of £50 to £100 plus per day on that specific product, or that relies on splitting our ad sets within a manual campaign by product or collection. So, for example, having one ad set that contains ads for all of the different hoodies that you sell and another for all of the different necklaces that you sell. We then use Google to take advantage of those customers who already have a desire for the products that we sell by using Google. To be clear, you do this by advertising on Facebook as well, but Google does it differently and it should be utilized if possible. So we set up taking around 5 to 10% of our advertising budget and allocating it to Google Performance Max campaigns. We'll start off by setting up a Performance Max campaign that's configured to use only shopping placements, and if that does not perform, we will then expand the placements to all Google Performance Max placements. Since this uses a small amount of the ad spend, it will take a long time for this to optimize, but it's worth running at a low level in the background, as when customers come to Google looking for your products, they can have very high purchase intent and be at the very end of their pre-purchase section of the customer journey. As we start to grow in terms of revenue and advertising budget, you can expand Google to include brand and non-branded search and shopping campaigns. Then we have email marketing. The key with email marketing is not to make it complicated to begin with. You do not need 20 different flows for 1,000 different contacts. All you need to begin with is this: a sign-up form or a pop-up form on your website offering potential customers a percentage discount on their first order in exchange for signing up to your mailing list, a welcome flow that sends the discount code when someone signs up to your mailing list, along with some other brand-related content, and an abandoned checkout flow, and finally a post-purchase flow that engages with your customers once they have made a purchase. As you grow this out, you can become more advanced and set up cross-sell, upsell, and retention flows to maintain the relationships with your customers. Once you start building an email list, you'll also want to start sending out regular campaigns that aim to build a relationship with your customers. You can keep them in the loop with any brand-related information like new product launches or events you're attending, maybe talk a little bit about behind-the-scenes action as well. So, let's dive deeper into what to do on Meta. Firstly, you want to understand what your hero product or collection is. What I mean by hero product or collection is the product or collection that sells the most. If you don't know what that is, you're going to have to start off by running a split test of adverts, each featuring a different product or collection. And once you've run that test, you should be able to understand which products or collections have the most interest, or ideally which products or collections drive the most sales. Once you understand that, you're going to start testing different creative angles and messaging angles in adverts with the hero product or collection as a constant. So for example, if you've identified your rose gold heart ring as your hero product or your hoodies as your hero collection, then you could start off by trying a value prop image advert, a product call out image advert, and reviews and testimonials image advert, and split test all of these all at once. Once you find that your ads are profitable, you simply turn off the ones that are unprofitable and continue to test new creative angles. And once you're confident, let's say you have 3 to 5 ads that are all performing profitably, you can start to slowly increase the amount you spend on them while simultaneously running new tests. When you've got some consistent profitable performance from these sales campaigns, you can start to add in extra types of campaigns like catalog campaigns, retargeting campaigns, and lead gen campaigns, which in the context of direct-to-consumer e-com brands means building your email list. On Google, you want to start off by making sure your Google Merchant Center is set up and connected to your products on your website. This is really easy to do on Shopify, for example, with the Google integration. You can then link your Merchant Center account to your Google advertising account and make use of the shopping campaign aspect of Google Ads. So firstly on Google, you want to set up your Performance Max campaign that includes either all of your products on your store or your hero collection. I'd lean towards all the products to begin with and just set this up with £5, £10 or £20 a day in advertising spend, depending on what your total advertising budget is. Try to aim for about 5 to 10% of your overall advertising budget. And once you start running PMax campaigns, you'll start to feed Google data. Performance Max campaigns do come with a variety of assets that you can input into Google and measure their performance over time. So you can control your assets at an ad group level. So try to max out the amount of assets that you can input into the campaign or the ad group. Things like headlines, descriptions, images, and videos. And over time, you'll start to see performance grades from Google. So going through and replacing all of the assets which are underperforming is a great way to increase performance over time and test new things on Google. So eventually you will get to the stage where you want to spend more on Google. And you can do this by either creating individual Performance Max campaigns or ad groups for each collection on your store, or spend more on your existing Performance Max campaign. You can start to also experiment with setting up branded search campaigns and non-branded search campaigns. Now, branded search campaigns are essentially just campaigns that aim to make sure you come up first when somebody types your brand name into Google. Because when you get to a certain size, other brands will try and set up adverts that show up when someone types in your brand name to Google. And non-brand search campaigns are what you see when you type something specific into Google. So they are great for when you start to really identify and understand your audience. Really, you want to get onto the level that allows you to understand what somebody is going to type into Google when they're interested in purchasing your product. So this comes back to understanding that whole customer journey from before they even know you exist to when they're researching competitors' products. It's worth mentioning that if you're not seeing much success from PMax, you can always try out shopping campaigns instead. Finally, we get to email marketing. The main thing here is to get your automated flows up and running first. Then you can start thinking about your one-off and regular email campaigns like newsletters, for example. The main reason for this is because if you're spending money on advertising, you've basically got a very leaky bucket, and the easiest way to fix this is to get your automated emails up and running. So we start off by setting up a pop-up form that I'm sure you'll be familiar with if you've ever been on any direct consumer e-com store. You want to use this to give some sort of offer. So something like 10 or 15% off your first order. And this does two important things. Firstly, it gets them on your email list so you can email them again and drive repeat purchases. Secondly, it gets them across the line for that first purchase, and it will drastically increase your conversion rate. And if you're really not struggling to get sales to begin with, you don't necessarily have to do this, but I would recommend nonetheless give this a go, as it's become somewhat of an expectation nowadays for sort of these lower to mid price point products. Customers that sign up to this form and customers that join your email database that provide consent, of course, are then sent a welcome flow, which is usually anywhere between 2 to 5 emails over the course of anywhere between 7 to 30 days that introduce this customer to the brand. You can plug your best-selling collections at this point within this flow. You can introduce yourself as a founder. You can provide some insight into your brand values, and you can direct them to engage with you on social media, for example. And then you want to set up your abandoned checkout flows. This can be super powerful as it aims to remind people that they were about to make a purchase when they may have genuinely forgotten. So you can also build out abandoned cart flows too, which effectively does the same thing, but at a slightly earlier stage than the abandoned checkout flow. But you will usually send less of these when starting out because you need someone's email to email them to begin with. And this usually comes at the checkout stage. Finally, with automated emails, we set up a post-purchase flow. This is where you can add further value, like sharing tips on how to take care of your products. You can potentially mention some complimentary products and even prompt customers to leave reviews. So that is how you use multi-channel advertising and email marketing in 2025 to grow your D2C e-com brand. If you feel like your main channel should not be Meta and should be another platform like TikTok or Pinterest, you can easily interchange Meta and follow a similar methodology. If you got value from this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as we'll be dropping tons of tips on D2C e-commerce growth. We've also launched our community for D2C e-com brands called the Ecommerce Growth Collective, where we go in depth and share the exact strategies we use in our agency to drive growth like this, and this. Click on the link in the description below and check it out. And finally, we have our digital product store that we're loading with pre-designed creative templates that we've tested out over the years that have led to amazing results. So do be sure to check that out too when you're on the Blue Drop Studio website store. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.